News update. The date is 8/2/26, and we're still keeping our eye on what's been going on in Iran, the historic destruction of the Islamic regime. It's pretty well decimated, but they're still technically in power. And there's been reports of a deal that would end hostilities. As of 10:05 p.m. last night, the president had posted this. The USA is locked and loaded and ready to go against the Islamic Republic of Iran at levels of military terror, strength, and power not seen since World War II. Despite this, we have just been asked by Iran and other Middle Eastern countries to hold off any attack in that the perimeters of a deal have been agreed to. This would include the immediate, complete, and total opening of the Hormuz Strait and an end to Iran's nuclear threat. Based on this request, I have agreed, for the future benefit of the world and likewise the survival of a successful and prosperous Iran, to cancel the attack, subject to being able to rapidly make a deal. The country of Israel joins me in this commitment. Get to work, everybody, and get it done. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. It's just going to be a matter of time. They just lie in order to buy time. That's what they, and so we'll see how long this lasts, but we're just going to report it as it comes. I'm not a prophet, and I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen when, because I don't know. So we shall see. But there will be no lasting peace, even if they're able to get this thing worked out temporarily, because Islamists will not rest until Israel is destroyed. And it's amazing that, and very few people, this week I heard one or two on Newsmax and one on Fox News, and then a couple on other stations who were willing to talk about the fact that this is a death cult. And there's not going to be peace until, in human terms, until that death cult comes to an end. And that's what's going to happen when Jesus returns. But this vivid account points out they are saying Israel is the occupier in the Middle East, while Israel is the only Jewish state in the world, about the size of New Jersey, surrounded by a sea of Muslim nations. The hypocrisy is unbelievable. Some of you can't even see Israel from where you're sitting on that map. That's why they had to put a flag up there with an arrow so you can see where it's at. It's absurd. It's not intellectual, it's spiritual. You keep that in mind. Anybody you know who's turned against Israel, there's something wrong here, not here. You can talk to them and try to reason with them, but it's not an intellectual issue. Just a reminder, this is Moses who reminded God of his word in Exodus 32:13. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, thy servants, to whom thou swearest by thine own self, and saidst unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I've spoken of will I give unto your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. You ought to mark that down. All these podcasters and people are trying to tell you that the promise of Genesis 12:3 was just to Abraham. Well, Moses says they're liars. Right there, he spells it out for you. This was how the Palestinians mocked Jews and their supporters. This was in New York, the day after the October 7, 2023 attacks. And that's just one of numerous videos where they were just mocking. That's what the Palestinian flag, if they're going to have a flag, that's what their flag ought to look like. That's what their history, their short little history since Yasser Arafat invented them out of thin air. That's what their history is. Murderers, rapists, and terrorists.
From the West Bank.
This was after 9/11, just as a reminder.
In the wake of Tuesday's terror attacks in the United States, apparently Palestinians took to the street chanting, God is great. People were throwing candy, distributing candy to passersby. The U.S. government obviously has become increasingly unpopular, particularly in the West Bank and Gaza Strip, because Palestinians feel that the U.S. government has sided with Israel. One man, Nawal Abdel Fattah, wearing a long black dress, threw sweets in the air, saying, Actually, that's a woman, pardon me, saying she was happy because, quote, America is the head of the snake. America always stands by Israel in its war against us. Meanwhile, Yasser Arafat...
Anyway, it goes on and on. Listen, it's not just the Jews. They hate all non-Muslims. And anybody telling you otherwise is lying to you. Islam is a satanic death cult. Allah is Satan. And Muhammad is a false prophet. Amen. That's the truth. And we will continue standing with Israel. Amen? Amen. In other news, Tyler Robinson's 30-06. This has come up a number of times in the last month. I kept saying I'm going to show you this. But various influencers and others make the bogus claim that Tyler Robinson did not carry his gun and couldn't have done so when we know that he killed Charlie Kirk. And that's him right there. Yet here he is walking with his gun in his pants and limping because of the fact it's in his pants. See if I can play it again real quick. Nope. A man named Mark Kester then demonstrates Tyler walked with the Mauser Model 98. He shows you with his own son.
My 18-year-old, 6 foot something assistant here who weighs how many pounds? 140-ish, okay? I don't know what the killer's weight was, but we do know that based on the mugshot, he was about 72 inches tall, and that's what this individual right here is. And essentially, the change was carrying the stock in the front. If you can see down here, these jeans are a little bit baggier, but if you pull them back, you remember that image of the gigantic cell phone sitting right here in the thigh? That's your stock. That explains why the leg motion cannot come forward, because it's completely locked in. And if you see, I'll put the video or the image up on the screen and the photo, you can start to see an outline of the stock, okay? This has solved the riddle that has been bugging me the whole time about the bulk of the stock. Essentially, I believe now with 90-something% certainty that the stock was carried this way and the barrel was carried on the side. Now, whether or not the scope came off or not, that's an item for debate, and we can talk about the ramifications of that later. But I think with certainty, or you can't be certain about anything, but I think as close as we can be to certain, this is how this was carried. And I'm going to let this guy demonstrate. We're also going to go out in the stairwell, shoot a little video of him walking in the stairs so you can see that it was possible to climb the stairs like this. So, go ahead. That's why I think he hooked underneath his armpit. Yeah. Kept his arm straight down, because if you see when he walks, he doesn't have his hands in pockets, they're out. Keep your hands out. All right, now walk towards me. Or walk that way. Pull your hand up when you come back the next way. When you show me that other side the next time, keep your hand off of it. All right, now try. All right, walk straight at me. All right, try it again. Okay, let's turn around and walk away from the back.
I'm just going to let that play because so many Christians are out there repeating the hogwash about Tyler Robinson not being able to carry the gun in and out to do what he did to Charlie Kirk. And there it is, and that's with no practice or anything. He's able to do it. I can even tell you another way you could do it is if you'd hook something to the top and had it on your shoulder, hang it,
walk back down,
then you wouldn't have to worry about dropping.
Did you ever use the railing at all?
I've seen him with his hands on the handrail, walking the stairs, just like we saw Tyler walking the stairs earlier. So there you go. If you haven't heard any of that or whatever, God bless you. But you have to be, blessed with not having a lot of the people around you that are into this stuff, and they're listening to Candace Owens and other podcasters who are putting this stuff out there to try to make people think that there's some conspiracy, and they're trying to, related to our first thing. They're trying to convince people that the Jews killed him. They're trying to convince people that Israel had Charlie knocked off. And that's what's the motive behind trying to make it look like Tyler Robinson didn't do it. Here's Babylon B. Here's a complete list of every one of Candace Owens' theories that proved to be correct. Get your pencil and paper out and ready. Well, there you have it. Great job, Candace. Keep up the good work. And it's true. I heard a guy the other day listing off all the claims she has made, and none of them. And she's just like a habitual liar. Have you ever been around those kind of people where they'll lie, you refute it, they just go on to the next lie. And just one after the other. Just a lie, you refute it, they go on to the next lie. So another question I want to answer is, do guns shoot people? Or do people shoot people with guns? Because there's been some bad shootings. That In-N-Out thing that happened last night or yesterday or whenever it happened, it's terrible. There's been a couple other shootings that made the news media. We've jokingly pointed out that no gun is going to just jump up and shoot you or anyone else. For reasons I won't get into, I didn't do it, but under other circumstances, I would just put a gun out here while I'm preaching, just sit it right there so everybody can see it the whole time I'm preaching. So that by the end of it, you'd see that that gun didn't shoot any of you. There, see? Whoa. That's animation. It didn't really happen. Guns don't do that. Do they? Well, I hate to tell you, it finally happened. According to Channel 10 local WBNS, a gun accidentally fired in the backseat of a vehicle, striking 2 teens. Yeah, real true story. A Newark police spokesperson said officers were called for a reported shooting. And the story then says 2 juveniles were hospitalized after a gun accidentally fired in the backseat of a vehicle Thursday night, according to the Newark Division of Police. The gun just did it. You see, they report it like that because they're all a bunch of left-wing nut jobs, and they want gun control. But later on, you keep reading. If you read the article, wait a minute. That's they arrested the gun. He's in the back of the car. What actually happened? As I said, you keep reading. According to police, investigators learned that the teens were driving around with 2 firearms when a backseat passenger accidentally fired one of the weapons. Oh, there you go. It wasn't the gun shooting people. It was a stupid, careless teenager shooting people using a gun. I'm sorry. I thought we'd finally...
This is a reminder. Guns are inanimate objects. Guns don't hurt people. Bad or careless people hurt people with guns. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
I took the wrong time to take a drink. I almost sprayed the... Oh, yeah. And guns are no joke. You should be very careful with guns. Gun safety is the first thing you should learn before you even start trying to shoot one. But a gun has never hurt anybody unless somebody was careless or malicious. That's the only time. Or it wouldn't even be malicious. In self-defense, it's a legitimate use of gun. As if this is on the lighter side. But that's a serious subject, even though I made a humor, a little levity out of it. But there's funny things we talk about. Sometimes it's ha-ha funny, and sometimes it's just kind of strange funny. This is an old man in the car. There's too many gadgets in these new cars. I just wanted to reverse. Now it's showing me a video of someone getting run over. Any of you been in the car with the camera showing you what's going on behind you? You know what I'm talking about? On February 2nd, 2016, this is one of those not ha-ha funny, but kind of is ha-ha funny. A suicide bomber detonated a laptop bomb on Daallo Airlines Flight 159 from Mogadishu, Somalia. The blast blew a hole in the side of the plane, sucked the attacker out to his death, and left him as the only fatality after the crew landed safely. Don't you love happy endings?
Is it 2016?
Yeah, that's an old story, but I was, sometimes as I talk amongst, and they don't remember it, I'm like, well, let's talk about it. Let's remember these things. And then finally, one for me. The Babylon Bee says, pastor psychs himself up for another grueling one-day work week. I'm not going to lecture you, but that is satire. Not true story. Well, I mean, some preachers might work one day a week. I don't know. But that's just, I thought that was not funny. One last thing. Reaching earth with the gospel before the rapture. Amen? So I wanted to share this information. And during the month of July, we had 11,000 downloads on sermon audio in 90 different countries. On Rumble, they don't tell us how many countries, but we had 3,552. And Facebook, we had 28,010. And that, you see, I'm sorry, that was, yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what that was, 248,135. No, I'm sorry, that was right. This is, since we went back on Facebook, 248,000. Okay, I was going to say, I'm confusing myself there. That's when we went back on. But last month it's 28,000, so it's been pretty consistent for 10 months. We're up to 248,000. And then on YouTube, 14,000 views last month, last 28 days. 14,692, so almost 15,000. And we're going to keep doing that till the Lord takes us home, amen? Be informed, pray, and act accordingly.